Good day, Munir Ajam with Uruk Project Management. And in this video, I want to focus or give a high-level view of Uruk Platform. First, what I would like to say, when I talk about Uruk, I need to break down my discussion into two periods of time. I will start with the ultimate vision. So what is the vision for Uruk? And the second part is what is Uruk today. In terms of the vision, when we started Uruk, obviously I mentioned in another video years ago when we decided to start working on an app, it was the idea is to do an app, basically a basic application focusing on the camp methodology that we have developed before. So initially that idea was mostly an app. However, as we start to explore the market, talk to clients, understand what's missing in the market, what are the gaps, what we decided and what we felt is that we needed to do something that is much more strategic in nature. So we start with the end in mind. We start with the vision of what we would like or what we believe the Uruk platform should look like in the future. And we started, and the idea has evolved over the last 3 years. We started with a few elements that, okay, well, we need to manage portfolios. We need to manage project. Obviously, to manage portfolio and project, we need to manage functions such as cost, schedule, scope, risk. Then also we felt like, look, we need also to have, obviously, some administrative functionalities such as timesheet, task management, and things of that nature. And then we said, look, we came from project management background, from an education background. We have personally and with Sukad, with my colleagues in the past, we have done a lot of knowledge work. We have hundreds of articles in the blogs. We have hundreds of videos. We have today, actively, I have 17 ebooks. So I said, that means the reason I'm sharing all of this stuff is that means we have a lot of knowledge, project management knowledge, content, and we wanted to share. So I said, how can we do that as well? So we said, the platform, the purpose of the Uruk platform, one of the core triggers and the reason we are creating the Uruk platform is to transform the project management practice, including changing culture, changing the project management culture in organizations. And therefore, part of that is education. Part of that is knowledge sharing. Part of that is to be open and to include a lot of aspects. So we always wanted to create a platform that to include a lot of our history from real world project management, working in the field, working on real project in all different domains and sector and different project of different size. Personally, I've had the opportunity to work in more than one industry, mostly in the petrochemical, but I did a lot of work with my client in all domain, government, private. In oil and gas, I've worked on tiny plant project, those that we consider modification within an existing operating facility. And I had the opportunity to work on mega projects that are 20 plus years ago, they were over $1 billion. So I've had a lot of exposure for that. I said, okay, and over these years, I had a lot of learning myself. And of course, there are a lot of published information about the project management challenges, failures. And so I wanted to include all of that history, the good, the bad, and the ugly, into what we are doing. So the platform has to reflect the reality, has to reflect real experience earned on project, good or bad, failed or successful. And we want, obviously, the idea here to incorporate things that we have learned to minimize failure and things that could help us maximize the chance of success. Obviously, no one can guarantee success and no one can guarantee preventing failures totally. So our job was that the Uruk platform need to consider daily life, need to consider knowledge, and need to consider managing projects and managing the portfolio and managing program. So over the last 3 years, the idea has evolved toward a vision that where the Uruk platform would include 8 elements. I don't want to go into each one of them right now, but obviously include governance, portfolio management, program management, project management, management of the PM function and supporting actions, such as, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, cost, scope, task, issues management, project success, lessons learned, funding of the project, all of these things to be included. Include link to organizational aspect, which is a feature item. Include the community of practice and knowledge portal that I mentioned earlier. And of course, the administrative things such as calendars and timesheets and these things. That is the vision for Uruk. And as you can imagine, this is not an app. This is not a tool, right? This is a comprehensive, versatile, and pioneering integrated project management solution, obviously based on a robust platform. And obviously, something like this cannot be built in a year. So our vision is long-term, using the principles of program management to think strategically for many, many years to come, to develop the full vision of the Uruk platform. That is the first part of this video, the vision for the platform. Where are we today? What we felt is that what's missing in the market the most, that actually led us to create the methodological approach that I had mentioned in another video, is that the actual methodology or methodological process that help organization take project from idea to closure, which we call PLC management, project life cycle management, which is different than managing the development phase of a software project, managing the construction phase of a facility project. We want to manage project across the whole life cycle, from inception and idea and concept and feasibility to requirement, all the way to startup and initial operation. So that was what we were working on, which is, again, we call PLC management, project lifecycle management. To manage project across that life cycle, we have to manage every stage. And here we incorporate things from ISO and PMI, which are the process group, but as we modify them ourselves. We have modified the process groups, and we use that to manage every stage of the project. And so today, what Uruk include a what we call frictionless project management platform that is built on the idea of managing the life cycle, including the stage gate, managing every stage, including stage gates, include many other features and functionalities. I cannot get into all of them today. The core, there are two things that are important I want to share here, or many things, but at least I want to mention two things here on Uruk. One is because it's PLC management, and we know the way organizations work, the project do not start and end in one department unless they are very tiny. Usually project might be an HR project, a finance project, a facility project. For example, if you want to build a new hotel, if you want to build a new petrochemical plant, if you want to build a power plant, if you want to build a road, right? Typically, those projects start in a strategic management department or strategic planning department or a HR department or a finance department. So the project starts somewhere, and then it might move to another department, and then maybe another department, and then maybe we get contractors and consultants to support us. And then all at the end, we'll go back to the department that initiated the project. So for example, if we are talking about a software project for an HR department, HR would initiate it, and HR would be the customer and the owner. And at the end of the day, when everyone is done throughout the whole process across all these stages, okay, the product of the project, the final output, will go back to HR department to manage it and operate it and use it. If it is software project, in that case, the end user would be using it. If it is a facility project, we'll have maybe facilities management managing this. If the hotel project, the hotel operator will take over. But basically, the project starts somewhere and ends somewhere. Often, there are too many silos in organization to prevent that interface to be very effective. So with something like the Uruk platform, that interface challenges are minimized because everything in the platform. HR could start the project and they actually appoint someone. They might give them the project manager title or the project lead or whatever the case might be. They will start the project. They do their own internal work. They define the concept. They maybe carry out a feasibility study, and then they will maybe move it to another department where they can help them, define the requirement, the stakeholder input, the stakeholder expectation, and so on and so forth. So as the project is progressing through the stages, right, everything could be done in Uruk to allow the team to manage the project, to manage the stages, to manage the life cycle, to manage the stage gate, right, manage risks, manage scope, cost, task, issues. All of that stuff is built into the Uruk platform that exists today and is active for use. But we have to be careful here not to overpromise. It is active for use by those who understand the idea of an early adopter, basically understanding that the platform exists in the market today. However, obviously, there is always opportunity for enhancement. And one thing we focus on functionality today, not the look and feel. Obviously, right now, if I go into the platform, it doesn't look as great as I'd like it to look from an aesthetic standpoint, right? What we wanted to do is to get the functionalities out, to get you to start to use it, to explore it free of charge as a trial plan. You have the opportunity to explore what exists today. The good news is that between today and that vision I mentioned, it could be a few years. So we continue to build and enhance the platform. We started a few weeks ago when we did our very proof of concept release with one tailored method. Today, we have, today or tomorrow, we'll go public with our recent release where we'll increase the tailored method number from, we had raised them from 1 to 4 before, and now we will go from 4 to 16. Over the next few weeks, we will be adding many more tailored methods. Now, I've mentioned earlier that I want to talk about some of the concept or core feature of Uruk. The core, we call it the DNA of Uruk, the core of the platform, the heart of the platform is managing projects. And the biggest component of that is what we call the tailored method approach. If you want to learn more about our approach for tailoring and tailored method, we are actually hosting a video that will start in a few minutes. So obviously you will not have a chance to attend live, but we will be posting the video, the recording of the webinar online, where we explain the idea of tailored method, what affect them, how we build them, what are their components. Obviously, we'll be talking from the Uruk platform perspective, but what we share is possible for all other organizations to use, independent of Uruk project management and the Uruk platform. So Uruk is a long-term vision that starts with our first steps that exist today and is open for you to explore and learn free of charge for a month. In another word, try it before you buy it. Thank you, Munir Ajam from Uruk Project Management. We wish you success today, tomorrow,